Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Love, Lust, and Badass Soul. And I am joined by three people that I truly do love with all my heart in this building today. So we got a fun episode planned. It's gonna get deep. I don't know like where it's gonna go. They may crucify me by the end of this. I don't know, but I'm gonna go ahead and introduce the team. So first we have. Oh, sorry about that. We have from like she's a blog writer, she's a podcaster now. She's about to be two podcasts deep. Miss Bonnie is in the building. What's going
Hello, everyone.
on?
I'm here and shining beautifully.
Absolutely. And then we also have the one who gets your chakras aligned while twerking on tables.
Yeah.
Miss Christian Brianna is in the building. What's going
How y'all doing?
on? Then the lovely, the another author in the building, the author of Naked, and somebody who will get your shit right because she will punch people. I've seen her hands, like her knuckles are big. We got Miss Queen Poison Tanisha's in the building. What's going on?
Sorry. First of all, you're not gonna tell these lies on me this early.
Look, I'm looking at your hands right now. Your knuckles are big.
But I'm a past. Chill out. What are you doing?
Oh my God, why is he like this?
I don't know. Hey, I'm excited to have you guys all on one episode, so it is what it is. Sue me. Um, so we have a few different topics planned today. The title of this episode is going to be the unintended emotional terrorism. And this one, fellas, if you're listening, they're going to give it to us on this one, and I just have to sit here and just deal with it. Fuck it. It is what it is. So the first topic that we have for today is how do women deal with being the safe place for a man emotionally while also making sure that their emotional well-being is being taken care of and considered.
Mm.
No, any volunteers for this one first? Because I feel like all three of you guys have a rant prepared for this one. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Oh,
Um, as women, we're taught to be nurturers, but as far as being a safe space, that's kind of like a trial and error thing. You kind of test the water, see how it works out, but you have to understand that all people are different. All men are different. People are adaptable, and sometimes you learn from what your parents show you. But like I said, mostly it's trial and error. It's like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it backfires horribly. Sometimes you get the stigma of the ride or die, where
mm,
you're expected to take all this BS, all this trauma, all this hurt, all this pain, and coddle the person you're with. You're supposed to make them feel better, but no one teaches you how to take care of yourself. Taking care of yourself is deemed as being selfish.
mm, yeah. All right. Anybody want to piggyback off that?
Yeah, I have something right on top of that.
Okay.
So I think what we forget, as especially women, is we forget to break down the walls that we hold ourselves in. Like we really like just as human beings, really, we are not transparent with ourselves enough. So we create those toxic behaviors within ourselves to not even know who we are inside. And so until we tear down those walls, we're not able to provide anything safe for ourselves emotionally or mentally. And then that transfers out externally to our relationships and all of that. So we need to make sure that we are being honest with ourselves, even seeing the deep, darkest sides of ourselves, because once we see those dark sides, we can embrace it as part of who we are. And then we can just let go and fully be able to provide a safe place for ourselves and thus provide a safe place for our partners.
That's a bar. That drop the mic and walk away. You killed that one. That was good. So, Bonnie, I have a question for you. So, with like break down your walls. how do we get to that point? How do women get to that point? And how can, as the man, like trying to learn from this, like what can we do to help? Because I feel like even like in looking at me, I maybe tried to force people in the past to break down the walls without really taking the time to understand why the walls were there. So how do we avoid that?
Um, Honesty. I think with that is what it boils down to. Honesty. We are not honest enough with ourselves. We just like to see the good parts of ourselves. We ignore the other sides of ourselves. So we actually need to just open ourselves up and look deeper. And once we get to that point where we're just honest, that's really what it all boils down to. Now for me personally, I've had to take care of myself mentally, emotionally, physically since I was little. You know, I'm the oldest in my family, and just the way my family dynamics were, I had to learn to do that on my own because I knew no one could take care of me. So I had to learn with the mental illness I've struggled with over the years. I've learned to let go of those barriers and to push them away and to really know who I am. And that way, when I'm in a relationship, I'm able to be honest about my needs and what I need. And then that way it transfers over to him as well. Where he sees those barriers are down. So he feels like it's a safe place to let his barriers go down too.
That you I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. That's awesome. That is awesome. Christian, I know we kind of have just taken over from you, so your opportunity. Where's your mind at with this?
I can't be nobody's peace if I'm at war with myself.
Mm,
Period. Like that's what that boils down to. If I'm consistently dealing with something that's within me and I'm not safe with my damn self, how am I a safe space for you? I'm dealing with my own mess, my own drama, my own beef, my own insecurities, and then I'm supposed to allow you to come here and to pile onto that. Because then at that point, I'm not even dealing with what I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with you and me.
yeah.
And how does that equate to anything that's overall healthy? So now it ain't a safe space. It's a war zone.
Ooh.
And you and I are now at really at beef with each other. Like little do we know, everything becomes a tiff, everything becomes a fallout, everything becomes an insecurity between the both of us. It just doesn't happen. I look at pouring into a person as depositing, like the way that we trust ourselves with our money. If what I'm taking from is like my checkings and I don't have shit in my savings, all the shit is going to deplete. And we're gonna be bankrupt as a motherfucker. And we're it's not gonna be any good to our situation here. There's no boundary there. Nothing set. We're going to be in a midst of turmoil if I don't have me together before I can even remotely try to assist you with what you have going on.
Now I just so you can elaborate because I understand because me and you've had conversations like this before where you're going with this, but I know people are going to listen and think, all right, so you're saying that you have to be 100% together before you get into a relationship. Expound on that for anyone who has that question, please.
So nobody is saying that you have to be 100% together and saying that like all your roles are, coordinated, like your finances, your lifestyle, all that. The thing is that at times we will get into a relationship with a person and not have the bare minimum.
Mm,
Your bare minimum is not together. Nobody should come in with anything extra. I always say that I love people with the residual of what I have left of loving me. So I have to be able to cover me with the bare minimum. I have to have a certain amount in my account at all times for me to know that no matter what, I'm good. If I take from that, I'm now dipping into something that I have to replenish, and you're good. But now I'm upset with you because in the event that you're not able to pour back into me or able to deposit back into me, I'm looking at you funny. So the at minimum, and when I say the bare minimum, you need to have a job or a career if you're self-employed, something that is gifting you financial stability. You need to be financially stable. Do not depend on your partner to pay your bills. You need to have your mindset together. If you know for a fact that you fucked up in the head, you need to be in some type of counseling. And overall, just in who you are, knowing that you have some type of self identity, do not allow a person to come in and define who you are as an individual. They can be an accessory to everything that you have going on. But if you don't know who you be on your own, when I ask you, who are you, who you be, if you cannot answer me, you do not need a partner.
And that, my people, is why she is a motivational speaker. So, uh, anyone have any thoughts about anything Christian just said there that they want to add to it?
I kind of have a question.
Hmm.
My question is, what is considered a safe space?
That is a good question.
To be honest, I think that's up to the determination of the couple. Like, in order for a person to feel safe, there has to be a certain level of, and it's really an overused term now, stability, right? But that's important. So I feel like in order to understand what safe is, that means that I should be able to come to you and know that whatever I come to you with, you not ready to be like, oh, you fucked up. Like,
Mm.
it should be enough for you to be like, we gonna get through this together, or this is how you're gonna work this out. This is how I'm going to help you through this process here. But not never within that safe space should that person judge you or deal with you the way that they do, handle you in a light that's not healthy. So I think safe is really all within definition of the couple, but the universal term is just an overall level of understanding that when I come to you, and no matter what it is that I come to you with, you not ready raise your eyebrow at me like, oh no. You can be honest and tell the person that you don't have the capability to deal with it right now because you're not strong enough to deal with it. But as in being a safe space, even if they come to you and you can't deal with it right now, that judgment that a lot of people pass without understanding that they're passing judgment, that does not make for a safe space.
And I think I look at it as like the safe place being where you can be vulnerable, you can be conflicted, you can be upset. Like as men, we have the habit of pouring all that into our women. So when I formed the question of safe place, that was where my mindset was, is that you guys being the place where like the man can drop all the weight from the world on, but then again when it's your time to drop that on us, we say you guys are being emotional, or we say, oh, it ain't that big of a deal, because we don't know how to we may know, we even us unloading emotion, it takes a level of like, it takes us time to get there, but then knowing how to process someone else's emotions, it like a lot of us aren't emotionally mature enough to really be able to deal with that. So I feel like we often aren't able, don't have the capacity to be that same safe place for you guys that you often are for us. And even like, I picked this panel because, and I had this question, like, you guys have individually been my safe place or my place to go when I'm stressed at times. So I posed the question. This is, call me out. Have you guys been my safe place and I not been able to be that for you guys ever?
Mm,
Mm,
no, not in my opinion, no. And the only reason why I say that is because I have the habit of asking how a person is before I pour anything onto them, because I need to know whether or not you're in a place to even be able to take this right now. So if you're asking me, because there are times where you can like, you'll tell me like, you feel me, I feel like something is going on. I feel like, you feeling something right now, like, be honest with me. In those moments, you're admitting to me through that question that you're able to handle this right now, or at least that's what you're portraying. So I have to take you at your word and trust you at your word, like, yo, yeah, he got me, so I can pour into you now. I can dump this on you, like, and it really be like me dumping, like really letting go. But I think that that's it. Like, no, you've never been not a like, you've never not been able to be the safe space, because I always make sure that you're in a certain position to handle what it is that I'm coming to you with. And you've never looked at me funny for the shit that I've come to you with. And I also don't feel like I've ever really come to you with shit that's like eternally heavy. I feel like it's been some heavy shit, but you've always been more than enough, to be honest.
Well, that's because I worry about the outside world with you. I'm worried you gonna blow some shit up. But what about you, Tanisha? It seems like you that question kind of threw you for a loop. Like, give me your honest answer.
I wouldn't say that I don't see you as a safe space, but with me, communication is a big thing. And with our personal relationship as friends, it bugs me sometimes when I want to just have a conversation and pick your brain, but a lot of times because of podcasting, because of personal life, you tend to be unavailable, or I feel like I'm left on red. And some days that does hurt my feelings, but I have to learn not to take it personally because you take on a lot.
That's fair, and I apologize to you for that. And that's something that I'm really learning to do, and is to be there for the people around me. Like I often am, I'm almost always there when it's like something creative, or somebody needs help with this, or somebody needs help with that. But I do sometimes lose sight of just saying, "Hey, what's going on? How was your day? What stressed you out? Are you okay? Was work bad?" Like, and that's something that I know I need to work on because I'm not. I lack in that. So I appreciate you for being honest with that. I appreciate that feedback.
Yeah, because the other day you texted me back mad fast, and I swear I thought like somebody had your phone. Like I didn't know what the
No,
fuck was going on.
Dip. I thought I was being pranked.
I'm like, yo, somebody got this man phone. He ain't never answered back this fast ever in life. I think the longest it's ever taken him to respond to a text message of mine is like 5 hours, and I was like, oh, he's over it. Like I don't even know. I don't even remember what I asked him. I just like, oh, he's fucking over it. This conversation's done.
No, I'll text him good morning, and he might text good morning back. And then when I say how are you, I'm
You
like, I'm probably
nothing,
not
right?
gonna hear him
Nothing.
until tomorrow or see him on the timeline. That's when this
Oh,
is gonna happen. He gonna
God.
respond on the timeline. Hmm.
I knew I was gonna get it. I knew I was gonna get it.
Don't ask for it if you wasn't going to expect it.
You right. You right. You right. Something that you mentioned, though, off me. I'm taking that criticism. I'm gonna fix it. I'm not even gonna talk about it. I'll show. I'll show, not tell. So that we're gonna leave it at that. Um,
You
but
better.
it was on the list, and you mentioned it when you gave your answer about the safe place. Is when being the down chick hurts you. Like you mentioned, being you looked at as being the down, and I knew when I put this question on here that it was gonna trigger some people. But the question is at what point, um, no matter the value you see in someone, is it time to cut ties in regards to the emotional weight? Come on, give it to me. Come
Okay.
on.
So I recently
Bruh.
did an episode with BJ, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'm gonna say it again. If at any point, metaphorically, you're being shot at, but I'm the one getting hit, it's time for me to dip. There is no reason on God's green earth why I have to keep jumping in front of these bullets for you because you're not strong enough to handle it. One time, maybe. Another time, okay. It's happening every now and then, all right. But every time I turn around, something is consistently happening and you seem to be the issue, and now I'm the one, you're projecting it onto me. Like it's now my fault somehow. Or it's happening with you, but you can't take accountability for anything else that's going on in your situation. That hurts more than anything when it comes down to it. It hurts like hell when you're dealing with a person and you are his rock, like you are what's keeping him together, and then he has the nerve to project it onto you, like you not sitting up here literally taking these hits for him. Or my absolute favorite, when you find out at the end of the day that you're not the only person taking hits. Not only am I being shot at metaphorically, you got 100 other people standing in line with you. Not gonna happen. I don't ever want to be a man's favorite, not never. I'm not getting ready to sit up here and be this down chick and you got 50 other down chicks with you. Not getting ready to happen. I'm either getting ready to be the only person in this battle with you, and you got a couple homegirls ready to stand guard, couple sisters, maybe even your mom. But what I'm not ready to sit up here and do is be your favorite chick out of 50 because you got your own shit going on. Not gonna happen.
Mm.
Not gonna happen. Not never in a million years.
Again, this is why she's a speaker. I- you gonna stop leaving me speechless on this damn podcast this week. Queen, you got anything to say in regards to Christian's response and also the question in general?
Okay, in regards to Christian, like my edges, I want them back. She give me every time. Every time I talk to her. I gotta put her on mute sometimes because she comes from my edges and I need to keep them. As far as the down chick situation, I've been through that. My last relationship. Like I said, some of y'all know I was dealing with someone who was battling cancer. So I won't even say accidentally because I stood with him willingly and I decided to love him unconditionally. But with that situation, I don't know if I was emotionally ready for it. Because not only was it him battling cancer, it was a long distance situation. So it was a lot to take on emotionally. And there was a lot of times where I became the safe space because he didn't have the confidence or the affirmations to hold himself up.
Mm-hmm.
So I, like you mentioned, Christian, with the whole depositing emotions and treating it like money, I keep depositing, and then I'm overdrafting on myself. And it was a real heavy situation. And he left. He left me. Like I said, I was overdrawn and I had to kind of like sit back and get back to me and kind of figure out, okay, where I'm at right now, how do I get back to where I need to be? So the whole down chick thing is, it kind of makes me upset because people say that's what you're supposed to be, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It leaves you high and dry every time because they expect you to take on all this responsibility and all this pain, but you don't get any reward out of it.
He don't never marry the down chick. Not never. Not
No,
never. She don't never get the ring. You don't never marry the down chick. You marry the
it,
pretty chick. You marry the one that's she not even dying with you. She just riding with you. She just look cute. You deal with the co-star. You don't never deal with your leading lady. Not never to the what? Never mind.
it's
That's
it's almost like it's the growing pain, and they help you to become better for the person that comes after the fact.
exactly.
And
And
I
I'm
think that's the
done
painful aspect of
raising
it.
Yeah.
grown ass men.
Well, damn. I, that situation like just blows my mind. T. Like, just honestly, it just you were down plus some. Like, let's just be real, because there are a lot of people who aren't going to deal with cancer, especially in a long distance situation. Like, I can only imagine the weight, the emotional weight of being caring about someone who's going through that and not being around you, and then at the end of all that, they leave. Like, so how did you rebuild yourself? Because I can imagine that like you basically had to start from the ground up.
So it started with me consuming myself with work because at the time that I was going through that, I was working two jobs. So I consumed myself with work to keep my mind busy. I wouldn't date, still haven't dated. And that's how Naked got born. It was basically me sitting there and writing out every emotion, every feeling that I had until I sat there and learned to forgive this man, even though it was points and times I didn't feel he was worthy of forgiveness and redemption. And it was a point in the healing stage that I got an apology that I wasn't even expecting. Like, that's all I ever wanted out of the situation, for him to just come back and be like, I'm sorry, you didn't deserve that. That's all I wanted. And I got that. And it kind of screwed me up for a minute because, you never expect to get an apology.
Right.
You like, no, well, he should have did this, he should have did that, he could have did this, he could have did that, but you don't expect the actual manifestation of an apology. So we sat down, we had a talk, and I told him that I forgave him, and it shook him up because he wasn't expecting for me to say that. But yeah, it was a lot to take on. It still hurts to talk about, but the more I talk about it, the better I feel. Like the first poem that's in the book is called Point Blank. And that's completely about him. Like the very second I felt when I knew that relationship was over. I
Mm,
compared it to the trauma of being shot.
wow. I'm mad. Like, I'm upset for you right now, and that's like,
I love
wow.
you. I
Yeah,
love you.
I
Like I
love you
love.
too.
Love you.
I love you guys too. So what you see now is it took some work. It's
But it
still
looks so good, girl. It looks so fucking good, girl. You look good, girl.
Oh man. So Bonnie, now since you're back, like I know you kind of jumped in there and I hope we didn't catch you off guard or overwhelm you. But we're on the when being a down chick hurts you portion of the show, and I specifically I really wanted to answer and get your answer on this question because I know your upbringing is different than ours, and like you and the culture that you grew up is different. So like what I feel like the expectations for women are even kind of more so with the way that you were brought up than in our culture. So what I'm sorry to just kind of throw it on you, but like what's your perspective of like being the down chick, and like at what point in a relationship do you know when it's time to just cut the weight?
It's hard to know exactly, because of the way so many pressures were put on me growing up, just as being a woman in my culture and everything, and just the way that I am is just very different. And so it's a lot of men don't know how to deal with it. And so it causes they'll have a lot of expectations of me, and they don't really understand who I really am, even though I try to explain it with, everything I deal with. And so it's just, they push a lot on you without giving anything back. And so, and they don't really, a lot of the men I've been in relationships with, they don't understand how to give back either. So, they don't, it's hard to explain to them, help them understand what I really need. And then it's almost like they're blocked off emotionally because of how they're raised as well. So it's having to remove those blocks that we are both put on, both men and women, to just set that aside and really let all that emotional and toxic behaviors go. So I'm not gonna lie, I've been hurt a lot, but because a lot of men just see me as someone to just use and throw away because I'm a complication. So it's not worth the work, basically. So they just want the easy, simple way out, not take the work and dedication to being with me is different. So it's not easy having to always be treated like that. So I really have to like put myself out there and really just say what I need and what I expect as well when they put that on me, because I don't want to keep getting hurt, at the same time. I got to protect myself as well.
Absolutely.
I love you, cause I can like see it in your face that you felt that. Like I
Yeah.
love you.
Do you like along that process have you learned to weed out the people who like I I don't know how I want to word, like have you learned how to discern like who really has interest and who just wants the easy and the simple?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's taken a lot of experience and a lot of pain to get to that point, but now I'm to the point where I can sense, I can look behind the mask that they put up and kind of see, is it being genuine that they actually want to be with me, or are they just looking for the easy way, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
no,
it
absolutely.
Can I, Hayes? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm asking you to be the representation for men right
I
now,
hate
right?
doing that.
But because right now you're the only man here.
Okay.
So the question is, so you're asking us, when is it time after, I guess, like being the bottom chick, like when it becomes too much for us to walk away? How do, as a man, how do you decide that she's going to be your bottom chick?
Mm.
Mm.
Like, what qualifies her to be the one that, because like, and I'm speaking from like our cultural standpoint, like this is the one that you go through shit with. Like, how do you determine, even in the midst of, like, let's say you dealing with, like, let's say you're dealing with two females at one time, how do you determine that this is your bottom chick, this gonna be the one that you roll with?
If I
Not
can
even
cry
your
around,
girl, I'm talking about your bottom chick.
if I can cry around you,
Okay.
if I can't come and I can't be that open wound and cry, then nah.
I
Good.
appreciate your
Is,
answer.
is
No,
that
yeah, no, that's a
acceptable? Okay.
no, that's like the most honest answer I've ever received to that question. No, I definitely appreciate you for that.
All right. Cool. Um. Any anything left on like this and the emotional weight? And Bonnie, I want to say this to you. Um. Like, don't ever feel like you're a burden, and honestly, it seems like you've realized your value in your place. But like some people will take the imitation crab meat because they don't want to deal with having to crack the shell. Does that? And I know that sounds like a corny ass analogy,
No,
but
that's
real
real though,
talk.
because I'm from
Like,
Maryland. That just offended the hell out of me.
yeah,
So
like so. And the thing is that you have to know your worth, and I get it, and I like everybody wants to be wanted, but at the end of the day, like it's not worth it. And you've come through so much, just me knowing you, like you've come through so much to where don't waste your damn time. Fuck them. I'll say it because I know you won't. You're too nice. Fuck them.
hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So this next topic that we have, I just found this one was interesting. So, like, I have a question on here about society and why do we put more importance on the physical rather than the character of a person? And so, in doing that, I kind of like did my research. I actually put on my Awakened Soul bag and researched this. So, in 2018, there were 5,000 people who were polled, and they asked the qualities that they look for in men and women, both romantically and platonically. In every response, for women, beauty was a top three quality sought after in women. So that meant even if it was women who answered this about women who they wanted to be friends with beautiful women, men wanted to be with beautiful women. Like it seemed like in this that it's all about beauty, not just men. Because I know you guys are going to give it to the men, but it seemed like even women want to be surrounded with other beautiful women rather than have an ugly friend. What do you think about that? We're gonna let Christian have a minute because I feel I want that to brew. Sit on that for a minute. Uh, Bonnie, I'm gonna come back to you first on this one. What do you think about that?
Um, it's always been like that in society throughout the ages. Beauty has always been the number one thing that people look for. And the problem with that is we're forgetting that there's a person behind that face. There's a human being with thoughts and feelings, heart and soul. And when we focus too much on the physical appearance, we lose sight of what's really important.
Mm.
And that there's a lot of beautiful souls out there that don't necessarily have the, you know, what society would call beauty. And so we're losing sight. We see it everywhere. We see pictures and videos of just, especially like as a woman, I look at all of these pictures of all these women and I'm like, I am nothing close to that. Nothing. And so it's really hard because it's hard not to compare yourself to what you're surrounded
Mm-hmm.
by every single day in social media and everywhere you go. There's so much focus on the physical appearance and not as much focus on what's in the heart and in the mind.
Absolutely. And like and I feel like as women, like often like we judge your value almost initially off your appearance rather than like, and not even knowing that like some of the most beautiful people have sucky ass mental health.
Mm,
Like
that
and
part right there.
and it's ridiculous. All right. But what do you guys feel about that?
Queen, you
I
want to take this?
mean, the question really doesn't apply to me because I could give a shit.
Okay.
Just the way I was raised to believe that no matter what size I am, no matter how I look, to be okay with that. Like I'm beautiful the way I am. My family, they feel the same way. I surround myself with people who see the same ideals as me. So whatever society has to say, it doesn't really apply to me because they're gonna say what they want to say anyway. Whether I do good, bad, right, or wrong, it's always gonna be a stigma. It's always gonna be a box that I have to be pushed into or I have to check. So, like I said, I could give a shit less. To me, what matters most is how you look on the inside. Because I've seen plenty of beautiful people who are dumb and who have really bad attitudes and who are ugly as I don't know what on the inside.
Hmm.
Mm, that's deep. What about you? Go ahead, Christian.
Let me tell y'all something, okay? Because y'all some fine motherfuckers here, all right? So that's first, okay? Second of all, no, I think the biggest thing, or like my biggest beef with society wanting so bad for people to look good, is that now everybody looks alike. So that's my biggest beef. People are fucked up mentally, and then these fucked up people go and get their bodies modified. These fucked up people go and get Botox in their skin. Because they're trying to fit a certain standard of life. I don't want to look like anybody else. And the people that are really fucked up, like really fucked up in their head, are so easily influenced that that type of shit happens. So because I don't have my own way of thinking, because I don't know what it is to be me, because I don't know what it is to accept who the hell I am and what I come with, because this is what was given to me genetically, I have to go off and look like somebody else who's getting the praise and admiration that I'm looking for, not realizing that the praise and admiration from everybody ain't what you cut out for. You don't want everybody's eyes on you. You don't. That type of attention does not do well for a person. You can't handle that mentally. Even if it's all positive attention, a person cannot deal with all that at one time. You're not cut out for it. So you're not meant to look like everybody else. I be damned. I'm not going to get nothing cut, shaved, none of that. The lance, none of that. Because this is who I am. This is what came with me. I'm trying to die with this. Like, this is it. When I part from this earth, everything that I came with is what I'm trying to leave with. The fact is, though, so many people are unattractive internally, it's starting to reflect externally. And that's why people are looking for pretty people. Because granted, you fucked up in your soul, but you look like something. So I can at least be around you. And social media is so prominent nowadays in society that you got to look good in these photos. These likes got to be something. So I don't give a fuck what you
Hmm.
look like, but we're going to take this picture together and this going to get my likes up. Because the more that my likes are up, the more the popularity. And the more popular I am, the better that it is, because I'm looking to be accepted by everybody, not understanding yet again that all this attention ain't for you. And at the end of the day, people only know you from what's behind the screen. When they really get to know you, you ain't even on shit. So let's be real. You're not cut out for, that's not what you cut out for. That's why the people that I surround myself with look like they do. I don't care if like half your fucking teeth missing. Like, what is your soul like? That's what I care about. And
Mm,
I would defend the ugly motherfucker. Like, really, like, real talk. I would defend my friend. Like, if my friend look like a booger wolf, like, real talk, but she or he is about something like within standard, I'm gonna defend them at all costs, because you don't know shit about that struggle. Like, you don't know what it's like. And to be honest, some real funny looking people be the most confident. So like, they really the people that you need to ride with. Like, real talk. But that's what it really boils down to. The fact is, though, the standard of life has now changed, because more people look at what it is from the outside world to like them than the people that are really around them, and those people are who count. That's my beef.
all right. Well, damn. Again, this is why she's a motivational speaker. Um, so I I mean, we kind of touched on everything there. I have this question here just so that we can talk about it. Like, what is your biggest physical insecurity, and how have you or are you in the process of learning how to overcome
I'm fine as fuck, so I don't know.
it?
No, I, I think it like at one point it was like my acne, like that was a big thing. Like 'cause I've had acne since I was a kid. Um, that was big for me. But then when I realized like people gonna throw dick at you like regardless, I just was like, oh fuck it then, like right out.
Yeah, we've talked
Yeah.
about that on I think the first episode of Best Friends Talking Shit I was on with you, so that makes sense. T, what about you?
I have two. So growing up, I've always been big, but then I always realized like because I'm big and I'm cute, still gonna pull dudes anyway. So that kind of works
Mm,
out in favor. And then apparently fat girls are a thing. So also I have eczema. So my level of eczema is not really scaly, it's more the hyperpigmentation aspect of it. So it kind of looks like a birthmark. And it's like sporadic. So I have it like on my shoulders and around my torso. And I have like spots of it on my chest and back. So like unless you're really looking for it, you're not really going to notice it. And like growing up as a kid, like kids used to pick fun at me so bad about it. They were like, "What is that? You had chickenpox or something? What's that?" And I was like, "It's a birthmark." And they were like, "Oh, okay," and they would leave it alone. But it doesn't itch. It doesn't look gross or anything. Like I said, it just looks like hyperpigmentation. So like
mm.
people will touch it. It feels like smooth skin. But
Yeah, girl, you real smooth.
Shut up. Yeah, I'm done with y'all.
but then again, I mean, it still hasn't stopped the show. It still hasn't stopped me as a person. It's just, a minor thing that, of course, I throw some shea butter or some baby oil gel. I'm all right.
Yeah, that's what's up. Bonnie, what about you?
Um, yeah, so I deal with rosacea, if you know what that is.
I do
Um,
not.
so
Yeah.
it's basically red patches on my face.
Okay.
So, growing up, that I got really teased really bad for that, because people thought it was being burnt. My skin was burnt all the time,
Okay.
and I was just born that way. So, so now, like, I've been a lot better. Like, I can go to the gym without makeup on now.
Mhm.
So, but I most times I do not go out of the house without covering it up because it's so, people are still cruel about it. So, it's something I'm working on, but it's, when people think, are always asking you what's wrong with your skin, when it's just part of who you are and you were born that way, there's nothing you can do to change it.
That is a fact. Well, I want to reaffirm that it doesn't like the thing is, and the reason why I picked all three of you for this panel is that you guys are some of the sweetest and most uplifting people that I know, period, point blank. So like it's important that I wanted to see what you guys struggle with because at the end of the day, that doesn't affect your beauty. That doesn't affect the value that you guys added to people's lives around you through your creative, like T through your writing, Christian through your podcast, Bonnie through your writing and your podcast as well. And I know what you have coming down the pipeline. Like I think that once we stop and start like realizing that people have value, like yes, attractiveness may catch your attention at first, but that doesn't matter in the long run. Like yeah, you want to be with someone you're attracted to, but at the end of the day, like everything else and how you uplift people and how you feed into people matters as well. So that's I wanted to say that. Last question though, on that same poll, of those 5,000 people, 400, I mean 4,200 of those responses listed strength as a quality sought after in a man. What is a strong man? And then we'll go home.
Mm.
How much time we got?
Ooh. A strong man.
Any man that could put up with my shit is strong. I'm just being honest. Like, I'm being honest. Cause like I got a slick ass mouth. I don't have an attitude problem because like I don't feel like my attitude is a problem, but I can have an attitude. I can be very like shut off. So any man who has patience, like I feel like a strong man is a patient man. A strong man is a willing man. A strong man is a compromising man. A strong man is a man who's actually strong. A strong man who takes care of himself physically. A strong man who understands when it's okay to admit that he's broken. A
Mm-hmm.
strong man who's able to pour into me. A strong man who's comfortable in his sexuality. A strong man who owns his shit. A strong man who takes care of his kids. A strong man who handles his finances. A strong man who can admit when he's wrong. All that is equivalent to a strong man.
But can you be strong without having some of those?
Oh yeah, most
Okay.
definitely. Yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah.
That's T.
I mean, Christian ain't everything. I ain't got nothing.
Fair enough. All right. B. Bonnie.
Yeah, so there are two things that make a strong man for me. Um, for me is one, his core. What makes him who he is? The way he deals with challenges in his life, the way he overcomes certain situations. That's, and it doesn't matter what they're struggling with. I could care less what they're dealing with in their lives. It's how they face it. When things get them down, are they just going to stay down? Or are they going to get right back up and keep working and keep
Yeah.
striving and keep doing what they need to do for themselves, empower themselves? To me, that's true strength. It's how they rise above their circumstances or the cards they've been dealt, and how they face it and how they overcome certain situations. That is the epitome of true strength, and
Mm,
that is what I look for in a man.
that's
Yes.
deep.
Ooh, I do.
Yes.
And
Go ahead.
second is how they treat others.
Mm.
Yes.
How do they love? How do they show respect? How do they show? I look at how they are with others. Their treatment of others is, to me, that is something that's so undervalued and underappreciated, especially in society. And we forget to look for seeing a man that actually cares for his loved ones. That is true strength and beauty to me.
All right. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for this episode. Go ahead and tell the people where they can find you and all that good
Wait, T,
stuff.
you said you had something, right?
I had one. I was going to say a strong man is a man who is able to take on everything that everyone else calls him weak for.
Okay.
That's good.
That's good. Well, damn. All right. We just had some breakthroughs, people. This has been great. Now, plug your social media because we need to get the hell up out of it. We gave too much game away for free. I feel like we could have charged for
Uh,
that therapy session.
Look, look, look. We could charge. Next,
yes.
gotta get them to come back. This is just debating them in.
Right. Right.
Mhm. Well, who
Well,
wants to go first?
I'm
Huh? Can you
trying to
hear me?
think where we can find them at. Like where?
Tell them where they can. T, buddy, tell them where they can. Other people can follow you at.
So, for me, you can find Naked on Amazon as paperback or Kindle under Naked. And my name is Tanisha Brianna. On social media, I am on Instagram and Twitter at Queen_Poison. That is QUEEN underscore P0. I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, P0IIS0N.
Mm, okay, Christian.
Oh. You can find me for your motivational minute every morning on Instagram at Dem Chakras, DemChakras. I hope I spelled that right. You can follow me on Twitter at DemChakras, which is Dem Chakras. The podcast is Dem Chakras. And I'll be speaking at a entrepreneurial dinner in DC. So if you guys are in the DMV, September 28th, tickets go on sale August 22nd.
All right, and Bonnie.
You can find me at my blog's addictedtoromance.org. And then on Twitter, it's capital A, Addict of Romance. Instagram is Addicted to Romance. And then my podcast, Join Becoming P1. And yeah.
All right, and you can follow me at CEO Haize. That's CEOHAIZE. And we are out. Peace.